So hi everyone. My name is Love from the Embodied Circle. For today's discussion, the Embodied Circle, we had this discussion at the last All Circles meeting where we asked everyone what does it mean to feel unbothered. So at that particular meeting, we gathered some insights and we got to find out that there were several mentions of people feeling like they are actually unbothered when they have a role that they are comfortable in, a role where they know what exactly they have to do to contribute to the their ecosystem. So we thought about it and we were like, is debt funding role based in terms of work structure, or is it all tax based? It's something that we've seen even in our own circle. We do a bit of both sometimes unconsciously, actually. So the question today is that's for everyone here. In your circle, is your work structure tax based or role based? Vanny did share this document on Monday, and from the look of it, I don't think any other person added input to this document. So the floor is open. I would like to hear what everyone thinks about this discussion and how their work structure is. So yep, that's it from me. And please speak up. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Love. So I'll be checking for hands. And Love, I think you have the full authority and liberty to ask people or call names if they do not respond in the magnanimity of their minds. So feel free. Oh, Paulo raised his hands. Yeah, so sometimes you have to put some threats here and there, you know. All right. Yeah, Paulo, please
You
go ahead.
follow.
Well, I'm organizing my ideas. Just a sec.
All
Sorry,
right.
Paulo.
No, Cardozo, he can go first. I'm organizing ideas.
Yeah, Paul was saying he wanted a bit more time. I'm not gonna say something that art. So I can just share what is our experience a little bit on the events. So yeah, I think naturally we started. I think more on a task based, but in some ways people became a little bit specialist in their tasks, or like sometimes they have better skill sets for certain tasks. So you had task based, but many times when someone was doing a task well, it was normal to repeat. But we still worked at task based and not responsibility based, and the challenge was how to improve the processes. I think and at the time I believe I was still a coordinator. The responsibilities of improving the processes were always a lot on the coordinators, and the tasks were, and then people would execute the tasks. And we've changed a little bit now. I don't know how many months ago, or 1 or 2 months ago, or three, to responsibility base, where we have main tasks and we put one person leading. This person can ask for help, others can get involved, and it doesn't need to do everything alone. But it's the person's responsibility to ensure that the task gets done well, and also is their responsibility to get the necessary resources and improvements also for the process. Yeah, it was a little bit, we had to adapt a little bit in the first months. I think now it's working well, and maybe better than before. And I think it has a potential to work even better, having these responsibilities, also because people feel they can do more, and they feel they have more trust and freedom to implement their ideas. Yes, that's our experience. So I guess maybe Paulo, if you're ready, feel free to share.
Sorry, before Paulo goes, I just wanted to ask you something, Raphael. So you said I heard you mention more of role. From your own experience, for people that came to your circle, what exactly helped them feel onboarded? Was it the role, like you telling them, oh yeah, your responsibility is to do this every week or every month? Is that what made them feel better? Because, for example, in onboarding cycle, when we onboarded 2 members, they actually felt more onboarded when we give them tasks, not like a role. We're like, okay, we have this out there. Is there anybody up for it? This type of for it, I will give it to them. And from there, they felt like they were actually, contributing and they were a part of us. So that's why I asked.
Yeah, no, I would say the role itself is more to take things into, or this responsibility of this is more to take things into the next level, because we as a circle grew a bit and now we have a little, many different things. And if you have just the coordinators trying to coordinate all of these things at the same time, you kind of get limited on the ideas and the progress and the improvements, and things just get stuck. And if you have people that already are doing some work and you can try to adapt their skill sets to different tasks, then you empower them to also help grow these different tasks and specialize and have better outcomes. I think in terms of being onboarded, I think what works for us is having a process, right, to make people feel onboarded. We have documents. We try to give them back some context on the background with the yearly reports. We also give them context on what we are trying to achieve in the future. And then we have mentors, and they start in the beginning. They start doing smaller tasks until they feel more comfortable, and then being part of the discussions. And with time, people just start getting onboarded and they start being able to take on more responsibilities. So yeah, but maybe for onboarding is easy to start with simpler tasks, but as people start becoming active contributors, if you can give them more responsibility, then that might be a good way to check if they're fully onboarded,
Yeah, I kind of agree. Thank you so much, Raphael. I think, Paulo, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, this is a kind of discussion I personally appreciate. I like to discuss about it and think about this thing, because we're talking about how people are being rewarded for this time he spent on his lifetime spending in a task. I know it's a bit philosophical, but by the end of the day, it depends what kind of task you are working on, what you are looking for. Because, for example, if you're working if not the merit, if you work, for example, McDonald's, you have like a specific task, so people will get this payment. I think in the reward system, for example. The thing is, you are paid by what you are delivering. So you can work in the role or basis depending on the context you are in. For example, where you are coordinator, you have some responsibilities, some skills you need. So maybe other people in the circle can do too. But when you have to put your face, you have to show up and present your ideas. This demands you more about the role and then about the task. The complicate on this is how do you will evaluate this. So for example, I read anyone can take any task, it's come up, okay? However, the people don't have the same level of the technicity. They don't have the same level. So we will have different results by the end. We will reward them equal. So this is a kind of question. When you are in whole base, as you say, it's very interesting. We put it can be also bring rigidity. I think can get fossilized, but at the same time, if you have a leader, someone can push things. They have a different view. These people can push the team. So it's very complicated. It's a very long discussion, and I love that you bring this to us. And by then, I think we have to adapt in the moment we need each one. In Review Circle, what we are using, we have it's not a mixed. For some specific task, we prefer like a role-based as reviewer, for example, for some task. And so for some specific missions, we prefer to work in the task base. So to try to control more things, yeah, to me, in this we have a space to discuss.
Thank you so much, Paulo. What you said is actually what I've seen in some circles, even in onboarding circle. You know, I said earlier on that we actually do a bit of both. Like there was a time that we needed someone to actually audit our payment tax, and then from giving it to one of our members, it became a role because he's been doing it for like months, you know. Like whenever any of us needs to send out payments, we just know, oh, that's our payment guy. We go to him, and it's like an unofficial role, but everybody knows he's the one doing it. So in things like that, we kind of just give it out unofficially. And even with the same thing with the recruiter stroke onboarder role that we have in the onboarding circle for Sukun and Spice, it came up, she did the tags, and then it became a role. And nobody has said, oh, she can't do it because she's been doing great in the role, you know. So we do a bit of both even in the onboarding circle. That's but do you think there's a particular one that your circle leans towards more? Like the one that you'd prefer, and you know, is it the role based? Because it sounds like that's the one you really do like using.
Yeah, because when you are working on role base, this I think from Sartre, he said you have like an image what you expect from this role. For example, you become a manager, so you have an idea what is a manager, so you know what you have to do. It's I think it's more in a projection if you're thinking more about psychological side. When you're on a task based, you have to have your task well precisely because the people want to know what they want to deliver. For example, when I ask a reviewer to have a good review, I say, okay, you have here the milestone delivery, the team sent. You have here what the team proposal, its website. You match the both and you see what you think about. So the task based in this sense is easy to work. And when you ask people to take some decisions, maybe the role is better because you have to go deeper. An example, a fast example, you stage about the payment. This can be a role. If you want to take a new guy to be on this role, this is a decision to say, okay, I would not have the same efficiency than another guy, so I will leave them spend more time to learn. And this kind of decision, I don't think it's a task. It's more whole, you know, whole based. So you have this changement depending what you want in your team, what dynamic you would like to put on. I don't know. I think if I'm not clear, I can try to explain, but
Actually, I understand. Thank you so much, Paulo. So I don't know who else has a hand up. And in case you can't speak, the document is quite open for comments. Please jump in. I think it's probably open for edits, right, Vanu? It should
It
be.
is. I'm
Yeah,
trying to take
it-
some
it-
notes while people
yeah.
are talking, but please do go in and correct what I'm writing if I'm not getting you right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's
Thank you
open
so
for
much.
edit. And
Okay.
Andrea,
Yes,
please take
please
it.
go on.
Thank you. Well, thank you for the topic you chose. I think it's really important and interesting. In the marketing circle, it has been complicated. It has been sometimes it feels like it's role-based, and sometimes it feels like it's tasks-based. But I think it depends. Most of the members, they feel comfortable doing certain tasks, and they rather pick on those in which they feel comfortable. And so probably that could mean it's becoming a role because they keep on picking the same tasks. For example, we have Priscilla, who's the only one who is in charge of the social media, for example. Then we had Via, who is the only one in charge of, was the only one in charge of internal communications. And now it became a team. And we are willing to onboard a new social media manager. And some of the tasks, for example, social media, it became a role because of the importance of managing the platforms and social media. Sorry. And also, I agree with what Rafael Cardoso said. it becomes a responsibility, because if we really want things to be in alignment and people become more specialist in their tasks, or in this case in their roles, then we will tend to pick them, or like the circle itself is gonna pick this person for these specific tasks, because this person, and everybody knows this person is good at doing it, right? So probably it naturally becomes a task. What we do is we always send a list with many tasks, and they get to choose the tasks they feel comfortable doing. Sometimes there are tasks no one choose, and but that's how it is working in the marketing circle.
Thank you so much, Andrea. So, how do you think this affects newbies, like people that come to your circle newly? Like, how do they get into it? Do you start by, giving out tasks, like you said, and then they pick up what they want and then stay in the role? Is that how it is with newbies too?
Yeah. For example, currently we are looking for graphic designers and video editors, because that's what we're missing. We only have 3 people who know how to do it. And if we want quality in the videos or in the content that we're producing, then we need specialized people. And from this need, we decided together to onboard people who are specialized. So when someone new arrives, they are free to pick any tasks they want, because it's open for everybody. And one of the rules that one of the coordinators said, Abdul, was to pick only 2 tasks per person, and then wait for 24 hours before picking more tasks. So the person who gets, the new person in the circle would feel comfortable, because they would have this freedom of picking tasks. And there are, like, for example, 2 videos, 4 videos, graphic designs, social media posts, blog posts. Like, we have different diversity in tasks. So I think they won't feel weird, or like they don't know what to do, because actually if we onboard someone with a specific skill, then they would like naturally pick these tasks.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you so much. It makes sense, especially when you actually put out some kind of advert for a particular skill. Once they come, they just know that whatever I'm doing has to be focused on this area of concentration that I came into.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Oh, it was not a question. I was just confirming what you said.
Sorry.
Thank you so much, Andrea. So I think I might just take one more person before we round up, because I believe we had just 20 minutes to have this discussion. If there's any other person, of course. Let's see. Ayo, is there a hand up? I don't think I can see.
Love, if I may, let's not tie to these 20 minutes, because this is a very important discussion, and the all circles, the all hands here is the place for us to do that. So I really would suggest for us to take as many input from the members here into it. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
And Love, to help, you might also maybe take a minute or two to help people understand why we're having this discussion, so that more people can also put in. And then also feel free to call on people from different circles to get their insight as well.
Okay. Yeah. So I said earlier on that this discussion actually came in because I think on Monday, the onboarding circle, we had a meeting where we discussed the insights we gathered from the last discussion we had, where we asked everyone when they feel they're actually onboarded into the different funding ecosystem. So the things we saw there, we got to realize that most people said when they got a certain task assigned to them, most said when they got a particular role, like I have to do this. That's when they felt like, yes, I'm among. Yes, I'm actually in deep funding. Yes, I'm not just floating. So that gave us a thought. Is deep funding actually role based or is it task based? Because over there in Onboarding Circle, like I said earlier, we do a bit of both. I think most times we do more of tasks where we just say, oh, we have this. Who wants to do this? Can I join you on this? Who wants to join me on that? That's how we do it over there. So that was why we said that it's be a very interesting discussion to actually have at DFO circles. So if there's anyone here that would like to contribute, please say something. And there's a document that is in the chat. I don't know if I can share it again. For you to just jump in and, I don't know, say what you want to say if you can't speak.
All
I
right,
hope
thank you,
everyone
Love.
got that.
Yes, you are loud and clear. Vanny, please go ahead. I think
Yeah,
Vanny wants to have.
I was just going to fill in a little bit about the background as well. I think we started off thinking, from an onboarding perspective, if you have tasks or if you have roles, how does it affect the newcomer? And I think we put a little bit in the document about some of the thinking that we had about the pros and cons. I mean, I think when a few more people have spoken, maybe it'd be good to think about those pros and cons, maybe asynchronously after this meeting, and think about how the approach that each circle takes, how you can even so undercut the problems. Like if you're mainly task-based, how do you make sure you don't have the problems of task-basedness? But like we were also talking about it in onboarding's kind of coordinator meeting with Jan and Raphael, and we were just sort of saying, just underlining the fact that there are good and bad approaches to both. Good and bad things about both approaches. And it's stuff like what Andrea was saying just now about how you have to make it possible for a new person to feel they can step up and take a task. And sometimes if it becomes too role-based, they're like, oh, I'd be treading on someone's toes if I picked that task. But then conversely, you don't want people to feel I'm just interchangeable with everybody else. I don't have a role. Because in that discussion we had in the last all hands, sorry, the one before that, so many people were saying that feeling onboarded feels like feeling part of the family, feeling like you're at home, feeling like you have a distinct set of skills that are recognized and you can make the most of your particular set of skills. It's like we all build our own roles, don't we? With a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it's really individual. So yeah, how do we support that, I guess, is what I want to say.
Thank you, Vanny. Thank you so much. I see Paulo's hands. Paulo, please go ahead.
Yeah, something I would like to, was thinking when I was discussing is about some discussion having multicultural management. We see the way you deal with the people in your team depends on what the level of maturity the people have. So usually you are more basic. If you have people very autonomous, like say senior level, we can work more in the whole, so you know what you have to do. I don't have to don't have to close you in some box, some specific. I don't have the specification. You can decide for yourself. So the things when you are more in the senior level, I think you go more for role based. So you know what you have to do. But when the people don't want to do the other people are starting or that are starting, they don't know how to finish, what they have to deliver. It's have a lot of questions. You have to put this in a kind of box and say, okay, deliver this. Or when you have to do the dirty job that people do. Usually a mature people want to do all job, the dirty and the good job. But sometimes don't have to do this job. We have to put in a box and give to someone. So I think it's a process, this evolution. Task-based to role-based until the freedom where everyone can decide inside it. So this is the future. So I think it's past what level of maturity we're dealing inside our team. So, okay.
All right. I think Ayo raised his hands before Ubio. But I think Ayo should allow Ubio speak first. Ubio, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I think I totally agree with Vani when she said there are merits to each of these systems do have their merits, and each of these systems do have their demerits. While I totally agree that a lot of people will feel onboarded when they actually get assigned, but I think for me, getting to know that I'm relevant wherever I am and my skill set is important also speaks to, makes me feel welcomed in that place. So in the Deaf Outreach Circle, already because of the way our structure is, I think somewhat just joining the circle, you know your role, right? Because there are two roles. We have the technical roles and the non-technical roles. We have the marketing, the outreaching, right? And everybody in the Deaf Outreach Circle is supposed to do both, right? You're supposed to know how to outreach even while you're still a technical person, right? And sometimes even as an outreaching person, we still do some little technical stuff, right? So somewhat a mix of both. But once you come in, based on your skill set, you already know if you're going to be doing technical roles or non-technical roles, right? So most of the non-technical roles, we don't even ask questions because the people that are in the non-technical role already do know that it has to be among themselves. Sometimes they all do it together. Sometimes they will divide themselves. And we even have it to a point that we sometimes subdivide. We even have two MetaMost where we have the technical and the non-technical members of the Deaf Outreach, and those guys and each persons can actually discuss whatever role or whatever needs to be done within that particular inner MetaMost to discuss, okay, so this is what we have to do, while these other ones are also discussing, and they can assign the tasks automatically within themselves. So in our side, once you come in, you already know, and once a role or a task is already being asked, you already know if you are among the people that need to do this or not. And then if it is not technical, you just know, all right, if it's technical, you know, these are the people that are meant to do it. And then within those people, they can decide if they want to do it together or if they want to give it to one person. It's all on them.
Rubio, you just have to stop while I was drinking water. You could have just taken some 15 seconds more. All right, thank you, Bill. Love, this is still your show, all right? I'm just helping. Vani, do you think maybe Ayo should speak now, or would you like to go before Ayo?
I just had a question.
Please.
I just had a question for Ubio. So would it be possible for me to just ask that before
Yes,
we
please.
get
Yes, please. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I'm really interested in that kind of setup when you've got clear kind of demarcation between, say, technical and non-technical. Number one, how can we deal with it so that somebody can grow beyond, oh, I came in as a technical person and I've learned non-technical skills? And also, what do you do when somebody's skill set is not that clearly demarcated? I mean, myself, I know some technical stuff. I'm not a developer, but I also know some non-technical stuff. So, you know, it feels like sometimes I wouldn't always know where I fit, and I tend to put myself on the non-technical side. But I think that's because that demarcation in our community is so strong. Are you a techie or are you not? And I think some of us are so in between. And I wonder how are we kind of not finding ways to you know what I'm saying? Are we by demarcating it so strictly, are we not recognizing the fact that so many of us are in the middle?
Yeah, thank you, Vani. I think that is a very good concern over there. I think the point of the demarcation for us is not strictly, it's just how do we put it? For example, I think I also do, while I lean more to the technical, I lean as well as someone that does a lot of non-technical stuff as well. So I think I resonate as well with what you're saying, because sometimes I find myself in that space. So what we've done is that the line is not strict. Like I'm not so I don't know how to put this. So it's not that it's such a strict line that we cannot cross over. It's just that there is a line for there that helps both that helps with ease of engagement, I would want to say, right? So that line is not a strict line. I most times cross to the other side, and we've had times where people have also crossed from the non-technical side to the technical when well, we were having a discussion and the person like, oh, I think I can also join you guys in doing this, and we've also had that. So it's not a strict one. It's just a line that is there for ease of engagement, I would say.
All right, and that's a very big love emoji from Vani. All right, Ayo, you can speak right now. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so for I mean, there's a Ayo that is the facilitator, and then there's Ayo that is speaking from Operation Circle or thereabouts. So this is the one from Operation Circle. All right, so I went through the document, and it was quite interesting to read through and then to see such perspective being shared. And when I put that perspective beside the reality of, say, the Operation Circle, I saw a very interesting contrast. So while I agree that in general terms, when people set in roles, it can become, one of the cons is that it becomes fossilized, right? Because you're just comfortable, that's all you do, and things like that, right? Yeah, that may sound like a con, cons. Yeah, but when I thought about it for Operation Circle, that is not really a cons, because I mean, if you, for example, so I'm in Event Circle, so I'm going to use Event Circle for example. If we were in Event Circle and we're hosting an event, if we hosted an event and we have 15 people join an event, all we have to do is do better next time, right? It is still a successful event. But if Operation Circle were to execute an operation and it does not perform, say, for example, 75%, the experience or the feedback is totally different, which basically means that some circles can trade, they can trade innovation, experimenting and things like that. It comes at a different cost to Operation Circle, for example, and that's just true. So I see that it is most our practice is that if you know how to do something and you have the experience and the expertise and the reputation or the network or whatever to do it, we just say go do it. Just go do it, right? Because I mean, the cost of the alternative is too risky, in terms of how that comes to play if it does not work out. But then that also does not mean that it is not a big when you consider resilience, it's a big issue because we have to be resilient, right? And so what we did is that whatever it is that you're doing, there are one or two people who can do it, who you have trained to do it, who you have taught how to do it, who you have shown the ropes. So that way, we know at the back of our mind that we have some resilience built into the system. Now, that's one side. Now, the second side is that now to come from the perspective of onboarding, having new people in the Operation Circle, what I'm about to say now may sound a little bit contradictory to what I just said, but just follow, please. So when you are in operations, it will start to feel like you do not need imagination. You do not need to be creative. But it's a lie. You have to be creative. You have to imagine problems before they arise, because what if they arrive and then it's really, really costly, right? So you need imagination to preempt problems. So which therefore means that there has to be a place where you're also experimenting. So how do we do that? How do we fossilize expertise? It's called specialization on cellular biology level, right? Which is very necessary for circles like operation. But how do you also introduce creativity, imagination into this? So this is the way we did it. We try to preempt needs. We try to look at the community. We try to listen to feedback, see what complaints are coming, either very visibly, audibly, or undertones. And then we try to onboard people specifically for that role. Now, when people come in, the roles are defined. Basically, you are here to solve this particular problem, or we imagine this problem coming because we are expanding, whatever semantics, but you are here for this reason. However, it is left to you to identify the tasks that shows that you are capable and that you are doing it well, and also identify tasks that are creative, which shows that you have not only seen your role, but you have also gone ahead to see what can happen, what might happen, what we didn't see coming. So every time we onboard in Operation Circle, we are not only interested in what the person is coming to do, we're also interested in the freshness of their eyes, right? And so this is what the experience is been for Operation Circle. Yeah, I think that way I'm done. All right, thank you, Ayo. Thank you very
Thank you so much, Ayo. I really appreciate. I see so many thumbs up and loves. This is so nice. Oh, is there any other hand up, or should we wrap
yes,
it up here? Oh,
yes,
Abdul.
Abdullah said, yeah, please.
Please go for it.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for the contributions. I missed a lot of contribution due to my internet fluctuation. I don't know. What I quickly just want to say is that I will use myself as a case study here for the both sides, tax-based and role-based. In my own opinion, I think tax-based would be very, very good for responsibility and accountability sake, that one would have known that, yeah, I am responsible for this to be executed, and such a person could be accountable for such a result of that very particular event. But then the con has been stated on the document that it could cause a kind of a rigidity and perhaps not being flexible to be open to do other stuffs. And one of the personal experience with this is that I am very, very responsible for some things that have been regarded to be a tax base. An example of which I will mention is myself to work on town hall meeting notes to be put on the Singularity Net Archive document that Vani shared with me. I bet with you, I am devoting a lot of meetings now that I'm here to do. And if peradventure that has been a kind of an open task, that might probably not have been the case. Probably it could have been easier for other people to take on the task and make that very thing work and not defaulting on anyone. So personally, I think if we make it a tax base, or sorry, a role base, it could cause some kind of delay. Why we interested in doing some other stuff or busy with other kind of things? Why at the other end, it will create flexibility in the sense that anybody that want to explore learning from other things by doing, so they will have that very opportunity to take on tasks that are probably not even related to their own specialization, to see how they can do that. And from feedback from other team members, that will make them learn why they are working in the circle. And one of the things I like most is when you find yourself in a team setting, so you should be able to differentiate what you know before you join the team, and when you join the team, what you learn as a kind of improvement to your personal growth. So for me, I'll be leaning towards the task base than the role base. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Abdul. Then with a hand up, but I see something up.
Yes, Raphael.
Oh, Raphael. Yes.
Yeah, but do you have something to add, Love?
No, I'm good.
Okay, sure. Yeah, thank you, y'all. Very interesting discussion, as I mentioned before, and really needed for us to understand our perspective as an organization, right? Plans were made, but plans are made for being changed, right? We don't have to stick to something that we developed beforehand and well, we have to. No, we can grow as an organization, which is an organism that evolves towards what we detect, what we feel about it, and how we should behave from that perception. But a little bit of history here is also interesting for giving all of you us a perspective. When we developed the circles approach, our circles strategy was also aiming for this decentralization approach that we all are keen to have. And with that, the circles came with this particular initiative of having refreshing teams and members in each circle, perhaps the same members jumping from one circle to the other, and improving the circles, improving themselves as well, and so on. But we, all of us, mainly, we come from legacy organizations, legacy ways of doing stuff and things, especially in work. And we tend to bring what we are used to into this new environment, this new scenario that we join, right? And I don't see a problem there. After all, we also have to be comfortable in where we are and what we are doing. And if we work 8 hours a day, it's a third of our life, right? So we have to feel good when doing that. This is very important, and we want to take this serious, and I hope you feel that we take this seriously when dealing with this. But from here, I see two perspectives. The circle strategy, and the main thing, the main matter that I see is resilience. When we have multiple members operating in such circle or circles, knowing how to execute a determined task, we have resilience in this process. Because if someone falls sick or just drop off, or it's willing to have a vacation, we have other members that can perform that task. For instance, among other resilience proofs. But we also have the other side, as I mentioned, about the security and to feel good because of legacy experiences that we have. Well, I do prefer to have a title, so I am in this box here, and this is not necessarily something wrong or bad, okay? And I am in this box here, so I am operating, I know what I have to do, I know what I'm doing, and I know what people expect from me. This is also very important when we talk about this peace of mind of people. It's true that an unstructured, if we can call like this, format might even bring anxiety, because you don't know the tomorrow. You don't know what you will be dealing with or doing it, right? So this can also bring this uncomfortable space that we're talking. And this takes us to understand, at least from my side, that we have different profiles. I see clearly two different profiles. The profile of something that goes in a predefined path, and the profile that likes and enjoys also having this not explored wild organization, let's put it this way, and they want to build this for themselves and for others. And again, I see both as beneficial. I was glad to see in the document here that on onboarding shared this mixed approach, right? Because it's about this. We have to be an organization that embraces both profiles. Those that want some security in knowing what they are doing and also knowing that they are going to have something to do. But it's also desirable for us to have a different perspective for members that are willing to build and they are willing and craving for this adrenaline, let's put it this way. For this particular profile, even though I mentioned an unstructured approach, we have to have a structure as well. This one here, it's already done because it's the legacy approach, right? We can, in one day, we can design everything and put together. For this new one, it's a new approach. It's the future, most likely, that we are dealing. And we are writing, we are building this parachute while we jump from the airplane, right? And this is something that I myself also think it's interesting. And like myself, probably two others as well. So again, it's not necessarily something that be opposing each other, but should be something that would work together. I heard Paulo mentioning before, Andrea as well, and also Cardoso, which, by the way, I'm not sure if you guys noticed it, we have 51 members here, right? Congratulations. I believe this is a record, guys, for this. Amazing. I am glad to see. Nevertheless, only coordinators talked here at this moment. And members in general were more silent and hearing. Again, fine. Feel comfortable as you prefer. But this shows this profile as well in another dimension, perhaps, right? Some members have more initiative than others, and this is also fine. Okay, so at the beginning, we had this task-based approach. The plan was a task-based because of this resilience, but also because we figured that this task-based approach could provide members the opportunity to improve themselves. Oh, I know how to do this task, so I'm doing, but look, I have another task here that seems interesting. I always wanted to work with this. I never had the opportunity because in my previous work or where I work, it has the role, it had a role that was stick to that task and only that person could work with that. I would love to learn that. This was also thinking not only in the organization, but also thought about how members could enjoy, right? And this flexibility of taking the task, Andrea mentioned that, hey, I'm going to task 1, then 3, and perhaps other. It's also part of the idea to bring joy for everyone that are working and contributing here to perform what they really want. Focusing in quality and delivery, right? It's not just, oh, I'm gonna get this as a hobby or something. Yeah, perhaps, but you have to deliver and deliver with quality. When I see a role-based approach, I see, besides the resilience issue that I mentioned, our problem, I also see another issue here, which are, and Paulo mentioned it, we have dirty or not desirable tasks as well. So normally this task goes into a role. So you put in this basket and say, hey, here are very nice tasks, but you also have to take this, right? And honestly, these tasks won't give you a joy. So task-based approach, you pick what you would like and work. So think about this as well when you are giving your input or your desire into task-based approach and role approach. We don't want to enforce tasks here. Again, you have to enjoy working or performing tasks while in deep funding. Okay. For that, I have a suggestion. Because even not that good tasks have to be performed as well. And I have discussed with some members before, or circles before, about this approach. And we have the word in the way we operate as our inventory of people that can execute tasks. And you agree with me what one doesn't like, the other one might like, right? So for those tasks that are not really good, that people don't like to do, our circle here with 51, 70 members, oh, nobody wants to do that. Let's put this to the word. And when I say word, literally the word. So we can have this task board, which will be attached to social media, perhaps Mattermost in our deep funding instance, which we have, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrea, last time we checked, we have 1,200 members there, right? And we are making some work there as well. And then we can ask them, hey, I have this task. Nobody wanna do here. We don't have to say this, of course, but who would like to? And then we are going to have 5 people, 1 person, 10 people say, hey, this is interesting. What's deep funding? I never heard, but I'm seeing here this. And this is something that I can do. Are you paying? Nice. I would love to. And then not only we can have this task that it's, as Paulo mentioned, dirt being executed, but we also are growing our community, because we are bringing more people, and perhaps people that wouldn't be interested in deep funding at first, but then they are contributing, feeling part of it by contributing and executing tasks. Now they can go there and be more and more embedded in the community, because they want to contribute, they like the purpose, they want to pursue our mission and vision as all of us. Okay, I've discussed with Edwin before, for us to create such. Andrea, could you give me a task that is hard for the marketing circle to get members to perform from the marketing circle?
Well, it's not that it's complicated for them to perform, but lately they don't want to take on these tasks. We have come up with quick challenges to engage our community on different platforms. Currently, some people are working on a few, but the idea is to have at least 2 quick challenges per week. And sometimes, I don't know, we haven't dig into it, but we don't know why they don't feel comfortable taking on the tasks. Maybe because it has to do with creativity. And, you know, I don't know. But these are kind of the tasks they haven't taken on lately, which is super easy. It's just like a task. I'm gonna talk about the one Robel came up with. For example, he decided to invite the community to decide whether one image is AI created or human created. So that invite the community to participate. So things like that, like really, really small challenges.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I bet every circle here has a task that you don't have to have skills for that, I mean, right? That deep skill or expertise to perform. But people might say, no, it's not what I want to do. It's not for me. I don't feel the owner of this. I don't feel connected to this task, right? It's totally fine. And again, we don't want to push this, but sometimes it's something that's interesting and important for us. So this type of task can perhaps become something that we offer to the community, or larger than the community, even to out of the community, and say, hey, we have this. Would you like to? Yes. Okay, let's see. And then we can build this relationship with this member. Imagine this in a big scale. We are going to grow our community and also our results with that, because we are going to perform different stuff that are needed. Okay. Yeah, mostly we want to be flexible to every profile, or at least for a field that we feel that is needed. And we want to be a house or a home to everyone, or at least almost to everyone. If you are in a profile that, no, I prefer to be in that box, it's fine. No, I want to be, you know, the spearhead, it's fine as well. And we have to embrace this type of members. Okay. Thank you. And I think it's funny here. She probably is with her arm hurting already.
Yeah, our hands must be paining her already. Vani, please.
Thank goodness for virtual hands. No, I just wanted to pick up a little bit on what you were saying early on in what you said, Raphael. I think we're both on the same kind of trajectory here, that I'm also a fan of a kind of mixed approach and flexibility, but you kind of framed it as people need, people who want to work in a role-based way are needing security and are taking it from legacy ways of working and are rather rigid and old-fashioned. And that's a very specific way of framing it, that I understand where it comes from. I understand that it reflects your feelings, but it's not the only way to frame it. I mean, I liked what Io was saying earlier about how a role can be actually more exhilarating because you have the freedom to experiment with how you do your role. And a task-based approach can actually be way more rigid. It's just, oh, do this task, and then when you've finished, don't think about that task anymore, move on to the next task. And it stops people joining up their thinking. Sometimes a role can be a little bit more overarching, and I can't remember who was talking. I think it was Paolo was talking about like maturity in the organization and that. So I'm not trying to say one's better than the other, but I just think you gave a bit of a particular framing of role-based being a little bit like sad and like rigid and old-fashioned. And the other thing, which I think is good for us to be mindful of, is that in the outside world, outside of this kind of community, task-based workers are generally more exploitable. It's like the hot desk kind of scenario where you can never get your feet under the table, you never have any ownership, you never feel that anything is yours, you never feel like you're home. You're just interchangeable with everybody else and doing a task. So that's how it can be used. And I think sometimes a role-based approach is a counter that people have developed to that. And also it's partly about our identity. So like, if I say I'm an artist, then a lot of the work I do is, I work with participatory art. It's not very traditional. And sometimes people will try to say, no, you're not an artist. But I will go, yes, that is my role. That is what I do. So, it's kind of, you get to define yourself with a role, whereas with tasks, somebody else is defining you. So I just think there are ethical issues to both that are worth bearing in mind. I just think what we want to do is kind of what you ended up saying, Raphael, which is kind of creating our individual, composite, flexible roles. And if that involves doing new tasks here and there and mentoring each other to new tasks and developing that resilience, then that's all to the good. So, yeah, I guess I'm just saying, if you end up doing a bit of role-based type work, take a creative approach to how you see your role and don't worry that you're just being legacy and old-fashioned, because you're probably not.
All right. Thank you, Vani. Thank you so much. Okay, about an hour on that topic. I think that if that topic comes to the universe again, it's going to avoid us totally because we flogged it. We really, really flogged it. All right.
I'm sorry,
right.
guys.
No. It was really good. It was really good. Nothing to apologize for. Actually, it was really good. Thank you very much, Love, Danny, and Onboarding Circle. And then thanks to everyone contributed. And we hope for next time we have such conversations, more people would engage. Not just coordinators. Sometimes the perspective of people who are not coordinators, sometimes I find them more interesting than coordinators' perspective, to be honest with you. So yeah, I really wish we would have more people, talk on that. I was looking forward to Tommy saying something, but all right, no problem. Okay, so we can move right to agenda number 2. And we are all collectively responsible for the hours that we spend on this call. I am not releasing anybody. May you please help me check. If anybody leaves this call, we are going to be reducing their reputation within the ecosystem. And then it is, if anybody drops off this call, they're going to have problem with their payments. It will just happen that their payment did not go through. All right. Well, thank you guys. So we'll just do this because it's getting more and more interesting. So if you are on Mattermost right now, please do something, right? Do /support. You can do it on any channel. You can do it DM to me. You can do it on your Circle channel. Just try it, /support, and then enter. Please, let's do this. This is supposed to be very interactive. We are demoing the support, but I want you to also do it so that, it's a collaborative demo. All right, so if you are doing it, please, can I have some thumbs up, something to let me know that you're doing it? Anyone can do it, please. And I want a lot of people to do it. Gifrim, you are from Operation Circle, you don't count. I'm just kidding, you do count, of course. Abdulaziz, thank you. Love, you're doing it, or you're laughing, or you're doing both. Are you laughing with me, or are you laughing at me? All right, so I didn't want guys to be doing.
Don't worry.
All right. So please, I want you to see it, and I want you to do it, because some of the things that even happen is that the first time you do it, we train the system and it responds to you faster when you really need it. So it's better for you to try to do it now. All right. You see, Andrea just got back. Andrea dropped by, and then somebody told Andrea, "You're not going to get paid tomorrow," and then she came back on the call. So it was quite good that we had to say that. All right. So let me see. If you're trying it, what's showing on your hand? Could you please tell me? You can raise up your hand to tell me what's happening at your end. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right. So it gives you, is it showing, can you see my support ticket? Right. And enter, it's supposed to start loading something for me here. Sorry, 1 second. All right. Can you see the support ticket that's created? Sometimes pop-ups don't show in screen share. But are you able to see my screen? Please, I can't see anybody in the meeting anymore.
Yep. Yep. We
All
can.
right. All right. Thank you. So this is test at all ends. Executing Circle. Let's push this back to IT Circle. Describe the issue. The issue is never mind. All right, and then I can scroll further. Priority. Yeah, this is low because we're just testing, right? But let me just call it high so that maybe Edwin can have small high blood pressure while we're at it. And then, so I'm supposed to put my name here, but let me do some. So let me say this is me doing it in case Edwin gets really angry. And then requesting circle, let me say it is analytic circle. But when you're doing it, please, you have to answer the right questions properly, okay? Because we're going to get there and you have to attend to it. So please don't mind me. I'm just playing around, right? All the answers, please let it be appropriate, let it be correct, so that we can know exactly what.
So then I can assign, sure, I have a lot of people. Let me just assign to myself. So you should get that, I don't know, you can show it from your end.
Okay.
That it's assigned to someone working on it. So with this, the assignee gets a task to do. The person who logged the issue will get a message that, yeah, the task is assigned to so and so it's working on it. That is just to, what do you call it? If there's supposed to be an async between the assignee and the person who sort of logged the issue, he can reach out to the person who logged the issue. If there was some clarification there, they can just async it out.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Any questions? Did anybody try it? I don't see. Edwin, did you get any ticket request from anybody during this call other than the one that I did?
No. Let me check, but I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Not from our end as well. Okay, that's fine. I suppose that it's very easy to use. And yeah, Raphael, I don't know whose answer was first, but Priscilla has not spoken. So Raphael, please, let's allow Priscilla. Priscilla, please go ahead.
Yes, I tried raising a ticket, but it wasn't working.
Okay. Edwin, we had a deal.
What was the issue?
The deal is that you handle the questions, and then I will just present.
What did he say? Like, what was
It couldn't create, like the form comes up, I fill it, but when I'm creating it, it doesn't.
You just scroll up. There are other, or scroll down. There are other questions you have not filled there. That's most likely what's happening. Let's try that.
Edwin,
that was it.
Open a support ticket for it, please.
Raphael, come again. I didn't hear what you said.
Open a support ticket, please, to solve your issue.
Open is always going to complain about the support ticket.
Yes, exactly.
Edwin, that was an easy question. You have to wait for difficult ones. All right. Yeah. So, Priscilla, have you tried that? Is it working now?
I'm doing it again. I've closed it, so I'm doing it again.
Okay. Raphael, please go ahead. Well,
yeah. No, I'm taking here Love's comment in the chat. Made me think. We have now IT and operations, right, as the main recipients of these tickets. But if you in your circle imagines a why people would open tickets for you as well, remembering that tasks itself are done by the slash task, and then you can create and request the task to another circle, right? Marketing, hey, I need to do this one pager about a process that I am developing here, so on. But if you imagine somehow that members in the all circles would also request support from you, yeah, open to you. Please contact Ayo or Edwin about and discuss this.
Yeah, thank you, Raphael. Edwin, you want to say something? Priscilla, how is it going at your hand?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Okay. Well, while we were creating that, we were hoping that it would be faster than that. All right. Maybe we need to do a video, but hopefully people find it very easy to use, right? And exactly what Raphael said when we Edwin and I, when we were testing and were talking, one of the things that we mentioned was that people might then ask us, okay, so right now you can request support from IT circle and operation circle. What if I need to request support or something from another circle, right? And we agreed that we are going to say, which is the truth, of course. We agreed that we are going to say that this is the MVP, and then we can scale to other circles, right? So this is a good opportunity to use this to train ourselves on how to use it, right? So that when more circles are added to the supporting thing, and then we don't have to worry about whether people know how to use it or not. So yeah, so please feel free to use this. Thank you so much.
Ayo, I'm
I do
done.
not. Okay,
I did it to
so
Operation Circle, so you could.
I just knew you were going to do that. Yeah, it came true. Why is he saying that I requested? It was requested by Priscilla.
Yeah, it's intentional.
All right. Okay, that's fine. I got it. Let me show it just briefly so that people see what comes here. All right, this is it on my screen. And analysis circle is requesting and things like that. I don't need to. Okay. I thought I don't need to share that anymore, so that we can go to the next agenda item. So thank you, Priscilla, for sharing. This is it, right? And we can always assign here, and then it goes to the assignee. Let me assign it to Anisha, because it's coming from data analytics. Yeah. So thank you very much, guys. So you can track your support ticket from here. It can help you. And then please be creative with it. And the only other thing that I would like to also mention is that there's a place for description. Please try to describe what the issue is as much as you can. All right. Hopefully, Edwin, we might work towards maybe letting it have some screenshots option where people can attach maybe some screenshot or thereabout. But I mean, obviously, that's something to just consider for the future. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. And I think on these notes, I do not see any other hands up. I think we can move to the third agenda. And Raphael Presa, drum roll. Yeah, Raphael, please. You can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Ayo. Now let me open here because I was so engaged in the previous topics that let me organize everything here. And boom, boom, and boom. Okay. First, I would like to make an announcement, sort of, and inform all circles about what's going on now. And well, because you are part of this, and it's important for transparency that you are all aware about the ongoing efforts, also including some members here. We are going to have the BGI conference, second half of October, from 20 to 24 of October. And as you all know, BGI Nexus is a partner of us while delivering some rounds through our systems and structure. And we are joining the BGI conference along with SingularityNet. This conference will happen in Istanbul, Turkey, at those dates, that period. Okay, and we are having there 8 members, staff and community attending that, each of those with particular responsibility. Okay, so I'm going myself with Jan as well, because again, the partnership in between Deep Funding and BGI, many stakeholders of BGI are going to be there. We are going to have Rojo and Rama as well. Rojo is based in Istanbul, so makes a lot of sense, right? Rama is also going to concatenate the ideas with us, and we are going to have this in-person approach where we can discuss not only BGI, but also further topics around deep funding. Judith is also coming. She is going to mainly support us towards the organization itself. She's an expert in events, so she is also going, but also to contribute on the BizDev perspective, which is very important at that point. Further than in the community, we have a very connected process of ours to what BGI is, not only in the sense of next rounds, but also the previous ones. Proposal assessment, milestones assessment. So our team, our circles are in deep contact with the awarded teams and proposers in BGI rounds. So we are having there as well Paulo and Slate from the review circle and Mayor from the operations circle. Mayor also is doing a lot of work towards contracts and handling teams. As a matter of fact, Mayor is from the operations circle in charge of this facing with awarded teams and rounds and etc. While Ayo here is more in contact with the community of circles. That's the kind of framework that we have in the operations circle. So it's also very important to have a mayor there to establish this approach and connection with teams, and all members there, all these 8 members, will also work towards bringing more and more proposers into our next rounds, either BGI or RFPs, hackathons, and so on. Okay, so that's the announcement that I would like to share with you. And yeah, looking forward to meet all of them there for us to discuss and go deeper in our operations, right? Okay, so next topic would be, let me share here. Before I share just a few words, we asked you circles to deliver the reports from H1, right? H1 2025, which was the first semester. It was amazing. You performed an amazing job, not only with the content and quality of the reports, but also in the speed and efficiency where you delivered that. This made our work really, really easier when creating this, putting all together. However, it made it easier, but we still have many things to learn. Not from your side, you are good, but internally in operations, we have to organize better the processes for having this half-yearly report released sooner. We are in September, so we have July, August here where we developed this and worked on. But many situations happened. For instance, tooling for collecting data, the systems, the operation system that we have. We also have to not learn from it, but also correct some bugs. Internal processes. Hey, who does what? Also something that we are solving now, because it's this process on learning. And one thing that we are discussing now in our work group, it's exactly to use playbooks for such large projects, right? Playbooks are those listed tasks and well, let me share here. Coincidentally or not coincidentally, actually, this is tied to what Ayo said. Ayo is feeling my pains as well, so he is also going this direction of, yeah, we have to imagine the problem ahead. And I do this a lot. I guess from the beginning. Sometimes I foresee the problem and then I try to bring solutions. People sometimes don't say, yeah, why? You are making this thing so complicated. No, it's because in the future we are going to have this problem. And indeed they come, and then we have to run after. So it's better for us to work that before. Where is it? It's here. Yeah, so this is a playbook, guys. As you can see, the task, this is for the deep funding round 5, right? Big projects. You have the responsible, so the person knows the responsibility. We have the timeline here with dates, it's not up to date. You have some instructions on how to perform these specific tasks. So this is something that we are going to use for the half-yearly report. So also the circles we receive here a row with what they have to do and so on. This is going to be deeper. We are willing to automate a bit as well this part. Topic to another for another all hands, potentially the next one we are going to discuss this as we have a work group thinking and running this here. Okay, now we are 2 months in already our semester, right? Yeah, 2 months. Can you see the graphics here?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay. Without further ado, here are some comparisons in between second semester of 2024, first semester of 2025. Okay, 2025 we had payments for circles at a size of $157,000. These were the amount paid for circles. Okay, hours spent 13,000 and a half, more or less. A lot of hours, right? Number of tasks, more than 6,000 tasks were issued with approximately 70 circle members among those that comes and go in the first semester. Okay, we started the payments in FAT as well. Believe in March or April, but most it was still paid in AGIX, which next semester we are going to change, of course, because we don't pay in AGIX anymore. For the grand total of 156. Okay. In the previous semester, we had $97,000 paid for the circles. So we had this growth in payments or this increase in payments from around 2.4 times, if I'm not, no, even less, 1.4 times, if I'm not mistaken, 1.5. So this is already a learning in the process. And the hours spent in the last semester of 2024 was of 4,632 hours, with way less tasks, also way less circle members in this. Here we have some distribution, the blue one being the last semester, 2025, H1. We had the review circle as the one with more hours than marketing. This makes sense given the fact that these are the largest circles that we have with more members. Then followed by events, dev outreach, operations, analytics, focus group, which was disbanded, IT, and analytics, IT, onboarding, documentation, biz dev, and deep funding labs, they came mid-flight. So that's why also they have less hours here, but we don't expect a huge growth in this process. In purple here, we have the previous semester, so you can see the growth of hours in tasks that were delivered. Makes some sense, given the fact that, for instance, in the review circle, we were expecting and willing for having more members in it to perform a better work in the proposal selection, actually filtering, with more quality, having better processes and structure, and also designating the proper background of those reviewers to review the proper to review the proposal that fits its background. Okay, for marketing, same. We had some issues last year, especially in the second half, and now we are solving gradually these issues, and of course, the number of hours is directly related to it as well. Okay, glad to see events here as a big player too, for instance, in what we are doing. A curiosity, you know that we have categories, right, that are attached to tasks that are being developed. And the largest category in hours that we had was exactly meetings and calls. This can make us think about, right? Our meetings and calls should be the largest hours spent, perhaps, and I'm not putting here and saying that this is what's going on, but perhaps we are talking too much for alignment or whatever and executing less than we should. So also food for thought that we can discuss this in future meetings perhaps, and trying to equalize better this output that we found. Okay. Yeah, anyone has questions? Oh, by the way, the full document is going to be shared with you all, and also shared with in the community portal. I was going to do that. We are going to, I believe Ugoshi is going to also bring a blog post around with these main findings in the report for the whole community. So you are going to have deeper access in here. Okay. Any consideration here that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, thank you, Raphael. So while we're waiting for maybe questions, I wanted to quickly say that we've the reports are live. The report is live on the web the community portal, so people can see it there. And then we also share the version that can be publicly that can be seen publicly. Yes. Thank you.
So just to confirm, it's already live in the community portal.
Yes, I put the link in the chat now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
yeah, please.
But of course, Marketing Circle and then Ugochi will still do more.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Just a question, Ayo. Have we?
Yes.
Did you create a new document? Because I updated some data here, so please update in the community portal as well.
All right.
The final numbers here. Okay.
All right.
Before
Tommy, please
sharing.
go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Tommy, please go ahead.
Tommy, you're muted.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't hear my name mentioned. Good report, Raphael. It's too bad we had to wait so long for it, or we're waiting so long for it, so we should quicken it. But let me ask you directly, and I throw this out to the rest of the community as we look at this number and meetings being the highest budget item from what you said. And I haven't had a chance to look at the report or examine it. What do you think, and what does the community think that the product of deep funding is?
Okay, the product of deep funding, we are supporting the development of a democratized and decentralized AI, right? We are the funding arm of that. So via financial resources, we create the possibilities for smaller stakeholders participate in this scenario and landscape as well. given the fact that these stakeholders are also aligned with the purpose of a beneficial general intelligence. So that would be the main product service that we aim.
Okay, awesome answer. And I'd like, it would be nice to hear from the community in short snippets what they believe the product is. And then I would circle back, and the reason I'm asking it is, why are we spending so much money on meetings? And when is round 5 going to be? And if the product is supporting beneficial AI, shouldn't we be racing towards round 5 and helping other things, other startups and other projects? And maybe we need a few less meetings towards that, but that's just my idea. But that's why I'm asking the community what they think our product is.
Oh. Ubio, you're muted. You want to say something?
Yeah, sorry for that. So I wanted to say that I think for me, I feel like the most important part of this equation is the marketplace, and that does not in any way discount the idea that to the extent that deep funding is actually funding beneficial AI, then we are achieving our goal. It's just that from a dev outreach perspective, as someone that maybe that is our mission and focus, the platform would always be where we will be looking out to see how this metric is being checked. But again, just to say, like, this does not discount the fact that to the extent that funding is going towards decentralized AI, beneficial AI, we are achieving our goal. So in essence, tracing back to what Tom is asking, I would say to the extent that we aided BGI this year, for example, then we've still been able to achieve our goal, because the context does not necessarily say that we must be the one funding. It's just that we are aiding. To the extent that that mechanism is still functioning, then yes, we are still at the right track. So yes, we did. BGI may not have been directly a deep funding this thing, but we partnered to ensure that that worked, and beneficial AI was being funded. So I think that we still doing that, and we are doing that with hackathons. We are doing that with RFPs, and we are doing that with this. So I'm just saying that it's not only rounds, that is our means of achieving our goal.
And I don't know if I can jump in as regards the hour as well, especially for meetings. So let's take this meeting for an example. We have about 50 people, 53 right now. And if this meeting is going to last, say, 2 hours, then we automatically have about 100 hours recorded. So this is just open all ends. We also have other meetings that goes on within circles and the rest. So I don't think there is a way to reduce the hours that meeting takes, except maybe we say meetings shouldn't be paid anymore. That's the only way we can reduce that. But aside that, I don't think there's any way we can reduce the number of hours meeting takes with regards to the other tasks, because one meeting is like 5, 6, 7 tasks if you try to combine it together. So I don't think meetings. That's just what I think.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Tommy, your hands are still up. You want to say something, or it was? Oh, all right. Okay. So I would like to say something, and I hope that Oscar and Edwin, people from data analytics, that they're paying particular attention here. We may need to consider what we call meetings, and then maybe separate what we call events, right? Because when we have all hands is something done by the event circle, even though it comes in the format of a meeting, but it's mostly an event, right? That's one. Now, I wonder how other circles perform onboarding, right? Onboarding itself is a set of tasks. I know that in Operation Circle, and I know that in Event Circle, one of the ways that we onboarded people was through meetings, right? Maybe not everybody remembers to consider that whenever you are putting meetings should surface for when you go into a call to go and understand what you're doing or to align. But if you jump on a call specifically for something, say for example, onboarding. So I had onboarding call with Anisha and Nora today, for example, right? I don't think that is specifically a meeting, because it was both a training, was both a workshop, it was showing stuff, tools, and things like that. So sometimes these things happen via what people just call meetings, but maybe that's not necessarily what it is sometimes, right? And so these are, so I mentioned the data analytics to the effect because it may mean that we are representing our data. Maybe we can represent our data or our functions better, basically. So I'm saying this may be a problem of representation, right? Raphael, I think this is...
Yeah, and okay, thank you, Ayo. Definitely. I can understand meetings, like we need to align. We don't have the structure in place at this point for us to say, hey, and when I say align, it should be at least on the same page, right? I'm not saying, hey, everybody has to follow strictly here. No, it's for us to even to become a community, indeed a community, for us to talk to each other. I feel this is one of the most important things that meetings are supposed to be, right? For us to talk. I know most of times myself, the host, and others talk a lot, but I would really enjoy to have everybody talking to each other here, seeing each other as well, to create these bonds. Ubio, thank you. You kind of gave the answer to Tommy that I also believe. We have plenty of formats. We are not only attached to rounds. RFPs, for instance, from SNET came with this very much approach of creating artificial general intelligence through a beneficial lens. We have hackathons. We have also structures within the funding that are also funding process to create a better architecture for us to achieve this goal. So we are too young to be jumping into what happened directly to the proposal. Of course, we have to, but here is in data what we had. So we might see, wow, $156,000 to members. But if you take a look, we spent more than $550 or $540,000 in milestones, which are exactly for the projects, right, towards this. So indeed, in fact, to have only out of context the numbers there for the members might sound extremely exaggerated, but when we put in the perspective here of also milestones and what we are doing, this can make more sense, Tommy, for you. Potentially and most likely, we are going to have another BGI round after this BGI conference. So we are talking about end of October, beginning of November until December. Which brings yet again what I mentioned before. We don't have the structure, technical one, to handle 2 rounds in parallel. Our system only accepts one submission, I mean, one round submission per time. So this is the type of structure that we have to improve, therefore have more meetings and have more executing tasks to create this potential multiple rounds running in parallel, right? Because again, we are young, we are structuring this, we are building the parachute here. So yeah, that would be, Tommy, the perspective that I have to give you. Round 5 is being discussed, starting the discussions with the work group that was built early this week. And we are going to start meetings to organize the processes for it, right? So not written in stone, but probably we are going to have round 5 from January, given everything that I mentioned at BGI, organization with the circles and work group and etc. Does this give you an answer, Tommy?
I think it's a great answer, and I think the perspectives that Ubio gave, that you gave, and I think are phenomenal. A lot of them are in ancillary tools and stuff, right? They're not necessarily the product of deep funding. I view it more as a beacon. Deep funding is a beacon to bring people in, to bring AI people and BGI people in and seed fund them, or as Jan said, kickstart them. I see that as the product. The hackathons, the dev groups, all the other ancillary things, all towards that one platform or product that people identify with. That's how I view it.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you, Tommy. And thank you for the question as well. It's important because it shows also that, and perhaps this is for all circles and deep funding, but mostly to the outreach cluster, right? How we send this message more efficiently to reach not only the whole ecosystem, but even the community and the all circles, right? So to have this as a clear path for us, this is also important. And that's why, I guess, well, a while ago, I have suggested for us to have the internal communications team. This is very important for us to keep this type of information alive and in the mind of members in the all circles. We have this now. It's also being built by Beatrice and the marketing circle. But this is going to be exactly the focus of it. As a matter of fact, we have a call today about these internal communications afterwards. Yeah, so this document will be shared with you all. Okay, you are going to be able to see more specifics data on it. I would go through with you through the document, but we took more time before. Since it's a document, you can read it. Not necessarily we need to discuss here, but here's for funding, for instance, $563,000. Other payments, and now we are talking about hackathon prizes, community hubs, trips, tooling subscriptions, which we have to have, so $25,000, right? And so on. We made 654 payments in the previous semester, 100% were paid, and so on. Okay, and here is also related. We still have $3.3 million dollars to be disbursed towards projects that were awarded. So it's also to be paid in the future. Okay. Nice. Anyone else would like to make a comment? No. If we don't have it, I already pass it to the Ian.
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, maybe one thing, Rafa, that is worth mentioning right now is the requested budgets versus the approved ones.
Yeah.
So we did that in the first half. We didn't approve everything. In a rare case, we actually gave more than what was requested because we thought that the circle needed a more ambition. It's also not a very hard rule yet, but it's something that we slowly, gradually want to implement. That maybe going a little bit more towards a budget steered organization, so it's a little bit more predictable. I mean, it doesn't make too much sense to have this whole exercise with predictions and estimates and so on, and then have no measure in place if somebody or some circle will spend twice as what they estimated, right? So I think what we wanted to do, Rafa, what your suggestion was also is to have halfway this period in October, that would be a kind of check-in with all the circles to say, hey, this is where what you requested, this is what we approved, and let's see where you are right now, so that we know if we're still on the right trajectory, if you're going above or below. And then depending on that conversation, we can adjust, right? It's not like anything is written on stone, but we would like to understand, we'd like to know the reasoning, and most of all, we like not to be surprised by it. And if there are good reasons, then yeah, there's not necessarily a problem. But we should have that conversation going. And then maybe in 1 or 2 or 3 periods ahead, we will get into an actually more budget steered situation. But that depends on the context as well. It also depends, by the way, on how successful we will be by bringing partners onto our platform. Because if we are able to bring a lot of partners that bring a lot of resources themselves, yeah, that can already change the fixed budget, right? So yeah, I just thought that was worth mentioning, Rafa.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. And thank you for bringing the context and background for this part here. It's something that it's not going to be put in place now, of course, because we are learning this process. For instance, we took 2 months, and would be not fair to you all to say, hey, here is the budget, so you have to follow. It's already a third of the time we passed it. And if you spend a little bit more than what was expected, we can't enforce that too much. But potentially, and here's a heads up, potentially next semester, we are going to steer more into budget, right? So, hey, here is the budget that you requested. Here is the budget that we approved. Take care of this. You are the one proposing, right? You are the one foreseeing and say, hey, we are going to have this, and this. This doesn't mean that if in the 4th month, April, for instance, you have an issue A, this new initiative happened and etc., we can't discuss. But in the future, I see us going more in this direction for the circle itself to own that responsibility of, hey, we have also to be accountable for what we are doing here. So we have to think twice before executing a task or putting these meetings to run and so on, right? But for this, again, getting back to the previous topic, we have to be better structured. We have to have the better tooling for it. And we are building this operation system with Rojo, where you are going to have this view with dashboards and etc. Also alerts. I love alerts. So let's say that you have here, as you can see, review circle 48K, and then you get to half of the period, the semester, and you already spent 40K, right? So you probably will have a problem. So dashboards will support you in this approach as well for you all to check what's happening and how to behave. Jan?
No comments whatsoever, 100% agree. Just another thought that occurred to me is that this directly relates to our previous topic about how much money should we spend on meetings. And by having this budget approach, we'll make this more like a concern of the circle. So maybe in a circle, if you have a certain fixed budget, you'll be creative in thinking how to use that time most productively. And if a meeting is the way to accomplish that, there's no problem at all. And I agree that we need some way of communication. We need some kind of meetings. Where this will lead, I don't know. But I think having this budget steered approach towards circles, which will also come with some kind of high level or basic agreements, I think. So if you get a certain budget, then we expect you at least to do this and this. We are in agreement with that. We'll have a conversation. It will not be a one-way communication. We'll have a conversation. What are you planning to do? What are you requesting? What do we agree upon? And then maybe you'll have some part of the budget which is still flexible, open, without specified goals. But there are also some things that we can count on you to do. And that will give you some flexibility and will make you more independent and self-steering in determining what is most valuable for the circle and how you can best accomplish these goals and what is needed for that. And in a sense, that also, I'm thinking about it right now, ties back into the role discussion. Are we task-based or role-based? Because if you're a budget-steered organization, somebody needs to control that budget and has the responsibility. Or maybe you'll have that together with all of you somehow. But it will have some implications on how you structure yourself and how you're organized. So yeah, all of that comes together. And maybe we'll see that each circle will be a kind of small sub-company in itself, and different circles will find different solutions for how they want to be organized, and in turn be attractive to different kind of people. But this will be a while before that all crystallizes, but we'll be very excited to see how this works out.
Yeah, and if you think that this is also actually this budget steering approach that we are thinking is also goes in the direction of decentralization, because we don't believe that we should be there. Hey, are you having this meeting here? Hey, you passed 50% of your time in meetings. Hey, do this, do that, because to achieve that outcome. This wouldn't be that decentralized, right? For having deep funding myself or Jan going there and doing this type of stuff, but giving you trusting you this amount and say, hey, here it is. Go and decide by yourselves, right? How it's going to be this governance, how it's going to be. It's also something that we are supporting with some governance structure that Esther is leading, but there are more people involved in it. But ultimately, we are aiming for having this in a decentralized way that can and will probably also goes even in the direction of budget itself, right? In a second or third moment, where we are building these stairs towards decentralization, beneficial general intelligence, and so on and so forth. In the future, of course, we can see this happening, but it's a step after another step. We are not building the whole thing in one night, right? To start the new day with all of this, we have to learn from this process and make it happen. But yeah, definitely decentralization is also in the core of this approach, budget approach, where you're going to own the decisions within your circles and potentially for the larger part of this as well. Going here, so we have the review circle, which is the largest one, requested from 40K, 41K in H1, requested 48. We approve it. I see here around 20% of increase, which makes sense, especially as we are going to also be willing to increase their participation in more decisions in process of filtering, in process and so on. The second largest, marketing circle. Here we have perhaps some disappointment, but I hope we can we can justify this and make a rationale behind. The H1 costs for marketing were in 25K. And here I would like also to reinforce another topic. What happened, you didn't have the full picture of what was happening. This operation system weren't ready at that time, so you had to go and create your reports and so on with dashboards and perhaps not the ideal approach. Now that we are evolving our tooling, we might have this, right? From the explanation, the marketing circle said that in June baseline, they would like to have a 50% increase. And we believe that 6 months would be a better sample for us to have this calculation, let's put this way. And also following what happened with other circles, around 20% increase in the budget, we are approved the $31.2 thousand. It's already 20% growth here in the budget. Okay, so of course, marketing, if you wanna talk and discuss this here, we are open to hear, and not sure if it would be fair to change something, but definitely we are open at least to talk. Okay, Abdul.
Can we run through? Can we run through before we take questions? Would that work? Abdul, is that okay?
Better than. For event circle, we approved the 27,000 that was requested from a previous 22,000 that were made. Some initiatives that are growing, like the community hubs, right? So we have 4 hubs now, but we are expecting to have many more in the next semester, or this semester actually, and also new initiatives as X spaces and so on. So which we are willing to foster even more initiatives like this. X, by the way, congratulations on the execution, and are bringing refreshing air to the event circle. That's very good. Dev Outreach also has a new initiative in the hackathon, especially the Pan-African hackathon. We will also involve India and other parts. So they requested 30K, which seems reasonable given the size of this initiative here. For the operation circle, also something to think here, and just for you, for the whole circles to see, yeah, Rafael is operation manager, but he's not opening the treasure and safe of deep funding because it's operations. Yeah, we have here approved 20K. Because indeed, we had this revamp of Operation Circle mid last semester, which we redesigned members approach, a lot of things. Also, myself delegating more and more tasks to the Operation Circle made a lot of sense to bring the $20,000 for the semester here. Yeah, but not approving the request of almost double right here. It was similar to what happened with marketing. Then we kept the 20K. Onboarding circle. Sometimes it's hard, right? Because it's a nascent circle. Last semester, which wasn't complete, I guess it wasn't from the beginning. it was 3,500. They requested 12,000, given the fact that onboarding is like all the circles, but onboarding will be supporting all the whole structure in the onboarding. Makes sense also to have this, and it's the basis, right? So who we are bringing, how we are onboarding these members. So it's the basis, the baseline to fundament everything that's going to happen. So it's important to take this in consideration. So they requested 12K, and we approved the 12K. This doesn't mean that we can't review this in the next semester and say, hey, you requested 12 as for the others. You requested 12K, but it wasn't well spent, so we are going to reduce now. So it has to be well spent and efficiently and with effectiveness. Analytics circle, again, we have here the acceptance of this budget. They are also supporting other circles. Data analytics, I had this conversation with Oscar and members. It's a circle that will help us in the assessment of these outcomes, right, of the circles, which is also connected with another initiative that I'm talking to Rakosi, which is the some performance. How can we measure the performances of circles exactly to give this perspective, right? So everything is connected for us to next semester say, hey, yeah, your deliveries and what you are willing to have. So here is the interval for a budget that we can discuss something in these lines that we are developing. IT circle also created last semester. Here it is 4,800 next previous semester, requested 10,000. We approved 10,000 because tooling is also important. And then, as you can see, support and more that we are going to have. Documentation also created previous semester. They didn't request, but myself,
yeah. They did not request because they are not becoming circle in terms of that, but now.
Exactly, but we decided to come here and put also because we know they are going to need the same approach. Okay, and you will be able to check in the document the half year reports of H1 and also from each circle to check. What do you think? Okay, so right. Abdul, I guess.
Yes, Abdul, please. Abdul, are you there? I saw you.
I'm here. Thank you, Ayo. Thank you, Rafael. Thank you for the presentation. And I want to be speaking on behalf of the marketing, and I believe Andrea is here, Gail is here, they might want to speak as well. But I just want to say that marketing circle, in our own understanding and capacity, we believe we have been doing a lot of tremendous work from behind the scene. It must have not yet been seen to be that we are doing anything, or perhaps anybody can think that we are spending a lot of money, but we can make kind of a result for that. I want to tell you that a lot of background works are ongoing from research of different audiences that we're trying to bring on board. So more like we are not necessarily interfacing into the public, but doing our work to ensure that we have quality people onboarded onto the circle. And for that, there has been a lot of consistent workflow in our execution of tasks and reaching the community or engaging with the community in our own level of capacity. And another thing I want to remind everybody is that marketing circle, or let me say marketing generally, has been one of the most underrated team, or let me say in my experience in the legacy world, most companies don't want to spend money on. I want to believe that. And I'm not saying this because we have not been like saying money to do some things, but perhaps I'm just saying that marketing is a continuous progress, and every day trying new things and believe it, because what works for today might possibly not work for tomorrow. And for that, we keep on doing research consistently on what is trending. And for that reason, you can believe that we can have a lot of hours. And I bet with you, I don't know for other members, but I can tell you that I personally, Guy and Andrea, we have this responsibility of, hey, Guy, you spend about 15 hours almost every day, but you can log that. Yeah, it is very, very tiring, to be honest with you. But then we see it as something we love to do. So I just want to say that to probably clear any kind of erroneous belief that we marketing are not doing anything, or why have this kind of a budget, or whatever the case may be. So we promise that in the next cycle or next semester, you'll see the result of what has been these experiences. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abdul. Thank you for putting the accent for marketing circle. All right, Jan, please.
Yeah, I'll keep it short, because in terms of limiting our time in meetings, we're not doing so well today. So we should improve that. One thing, so Abdul, I think you were taking accountability for that. I appreciate that responsibility. It's not what I want to react on, by the way. What I want to react on is the process. I think, Rafa, you forgot to mention one thing, which is totally your initiative and is important, is how we will do this next time. So what we are doing now is completely wrong. So we asked you for your estimate. Then 2 months later, we told you what is approved and not approved in this meeting, completely ambushing you. Without prior knowledge, and you're already almost halfway the period, I would say. So this is just showing that this is a process, and that we're learning and we're on a journey here, including ourselves. What we want to approve next time, and again, this is Rafa's suggestion, not mine, is that next time we'll ask you for your estimates. Then we'll have a conversation about it and then determine what is approved. And only after that, we will issue and publish the report, which is, of course, a much better process, because we'll have this conversation back and forth, and you can give your feedback and so on. And yeah, I don't want to go into the numbers too deeply, also because of time. We're a growing organization, so some expenditure, some growth also in expenses is to be expected. But it shouldn't be a straight line from here, right? We want to plateau at some point when we feel we are sufficiently matured as an organization. So yeah, there's a huge increase from last half to next round, to this half. There's also an increase of the number of circles, which in itself is already a way that explains the growth in budget. But I want to make the point that growth in budget doesn't equal growth as a program. Growth in budget is expenses, and growth in our program doesn't necessarily one-on-one relate to the expenses. So also, this ties into the budget steer thing. At some point, we will have an upper limit, and maybe at some point we'll be really strict that each circle will have its own wallet, and we'll say this is the budget that is approved by us, but also Eightfold Path, and this is what we have to work with, like it or not. So, but it's all a process towards maturity, and I think you're all doing great, and we're growing, and we're learning and maturing, and yeah, we need to make sure that the growth in budget also relates to the growth in the value that we're bringing to our community. And I think the best way to continue this growth, also in expenses even, is to make our platform available to other people besides SingularityNet, and make it a platform for other partners that will bring in budget, and that will also require us to perform services for them. That's not something that's done overnight. That these kind of things take a long runway, but we started on that route, and I hope a year from now, if we're next year and I'm back in my camper again on my next holiday, that we'll be seeing some progress. So that's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jan. Andrea, I see your hands. Can you take 30 seconds or something like that?
Okay, I'll try. Thank you. No, I just want to say I'm also part of the outreach, but if you noticed, we have the same budget, and marketing have 12 members, and all of them are active, and we are willing to onboard 4 or 5 new members. So that would mean we cannot onboard more people because the budget will increase a lot. And to align with what Abdul said, it might not be visible now that all the work we're doing, because marketing needs to research a lot. We need to also analyze the performance of every platform, and that also takes time. And we need to come up with different strategies depending on how the platforms are performing. So it requires a lot of analysis, it requires a lot of research and decision making. And as we are a decentralized community, the decisions sometimes take a lot of time. And it's not that easy, it's not that fast. I just wanted to say that. But we are happy and we love what we're doing, so I don't think we have any complaints. But I think we will have to take some adjustments. Sorry.
All right, thank you.
Maybe it's not the right place to have this conversation, Andrea, but we very much appreciate what marketing is doing. Raphael and me also said to each other, you started small at the beginning of this year. We knew that we wanted to grow, but you grew a lot, and now you're again growing a lot. And we figured maybe it would be good to have a period stabilizing a little bit, seeing what you've accomplished before going into another jump, and then also proving that this growth is worth it and that it brings the value that we expect. And then if that is the case, we can, for our next period, discuss further growth beyond that. But we thought it might be good to take a little bit pause at this time, stabilize your process, etc., and not just continuing that steep growth. But this is definitely a conversation we can have, and you and Rafa can have maybe without me, I don't know, and see what makes sense, and we'll figure out something that will make all of us happy.
All right, thank you, Jan. I'm trying to get us to wrap up, but the hands keep coming up. Vani, would you be able to do this under a minute?
Yep, easily. I just wanted to ask the process. I mean, what Jan, you were saying that it's not an ideal process. I was just wondering, because with Esther's decision-making group, we're trying to track where decisions were shared and where we were told what the process was going to be. And I'm really unclear. I can't remember, but I'm going to have to try and log it. Can I pick either your or Raphael's brains at some point just to go, when was this said? Because I don't know.
And with this, what exactly do you mean?
This process, like, I don't know if people knew when they put in a projection that what was going to happen was that you and Raphael were going to go away and look at that and then just come back with, okay, we've decided to give you this.
Well, we did it also last year, and it was also in the report, but we didn't enforce it. And probably we won't enforce it too hard this time as well. exactly before both of the reasons that you give, that we haven't given advance notice, that it's not a clear
Right, so you
process.
didn't. Okay.
But
I
it's
thought I'd
no,
missed
we
it.
did. It's nowhere. It's nowhere really. So
Okay, cool.
we need
That
to
was my
improve
only
that
question
part
then.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, please, you all, please don't get in despair, okay, with what we are showing here. Oh my God, now I see here, for instance, review circle already spent half of the. Please, let's go easy. It's just because we want to implement this in time, okay? But we are not going to be harsh and say, no, this is, especially because we also took some time to deliver. We should have delivered with that playbook process that I'm willing to have 2 weeks tops after the meeting with the half-yearly reports. We are going to have this done, showed in a meeting like this, or even an ad hoc one, and say, hey, here are the things. And then perhaps give one more week to discussions or whatever. But we are going to have these processes in place to make it transparent and clear, okay? But yes, let's try to abide to what we have now, the numbers and etc. But surely we can talk, we can discuss and see what we can do, okay? It's not that, oh yeah, just discussing, let's approve. No, we have to have the rationale behind as well, and it has to be proven that it's needed, okay? But not written in stone.
All right, thank you so much. I'm afraid I do not want to be the face of long meetings in the community. Rafael Cardoso, you have to host the next long meeting. I want to host short meetings from here onwards. But I must say a very big thank you to everyone. But before I do any vote of thanks, Rafael, do you have any closing remarks? Yeah, any closing remarks? Okay. Okay, yeah, zipped. All right, Rafael, same thing. Okay. All right, thank you very much. Please remember to follow us on our social media profiles. Please engage on our YouTube, engage on LinkedIn, engage on our X, and also please also engage on Telegram. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I really, really appreciate it. I didn't think the threat was going to work. Apparently, people people pay serious attention to how their payments goes. So, but it was just an empty threat, right? Nobody's going to hold anybody's payments. But thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate your time. Have a wonderful rest of the week. And I will see you again next week at the town hall, Thursday, 6 p.m. UTC. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Io, can you save the chat before we close the meeting? Can you save the chat? Because we still can't.
Okay. Chat saved
It's just
now.
there's loads of interesting things in there that would be useful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, done. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much for the 2.5 hours. Thank you.
Yeah, like that was really long. And we had about 49 people till to that point in time. That was really amazing. That's really amazing.
Bye, Rafael.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.